The shocking truth about goals, the battery and lightning approach. Hello, everybody, and welcome back, a medicine, and welcome to the cliff, where sometimes in life you're on the dirt's edge, looking, worrying, fearful, doubting, wishing you had support, a mentor, a coach for just that inch of guidance. Perhaps you lost your way to the beach. Maybe the thunderstorm got you drenched. You walk to the cliff's edge, and doubt and uncertainty and those inner demons start to come out in full tilt. Where am I? I'm not good enough. I don't want to do this. Today's not the right day. What am I doing? Right, we're cloudy. We're sort of on the fence, and that's where I come in. So welcome back to the Cliff Diver's Edge, taking you from unhappy to passionately, joyously happy within 30 days. And if you could do me a huge blessing, if you see that thumbs up like button down there, just go ahead and give a high five. It lets the people at YouTube know that more people want to enjoy this content, and then they share it and the community grows and we sort of level up everyone in the community. How beautiful is that? Imagine standing at the starting line of your favorite race. If you're a swimmer, maybe it's the 100-meter or the 500-meter freestyle. If you're a cyclist, maybe it's the race across America. The air crackles with anticipation. You're trained for months, you visualized success, and crafted a rock-solid race plan. But there's one crucial element missing. You haven't had a clue where the finish line is. Sure, you want to win, you want to claim victory, right, and just accomplish that, but winning is a pretty broad and foggy concept. Setting goals is like that race you started. We often fixated on the positive, the trophy, the promotion, the dream vacation. But what if there was a hidden power source propelling top performers past the finish line, zapping, cracking them to instant victories? Enter the realm of battery and lightning goals here at the Cliff Diver's Edge. Now, negative goals aren't about like dwelling on misery. They're about defining what you don't want clearly as that swimmer or that cyclist or that cliff diver. They're the flip side of the opposite goals. Right, the flip side of that coin. The missing piece of the map leading you to your dreams, your victories, your ultimate enjoyment of your true ikigai. Softball started and a family hired me to help their college daughter increase her batting percentage. And just within a few sessions, we designed over 7 negative battery and lightning triggers and anchors for her, and she went from 284 to 340. Pretty good just for in 6 and 7 weeks. And that's the power of negative goal setting, what we're going to be covering in depth for today. So over the years, I don't hear this enough, or should I say I don't ever hear it, in the fields of self-help and self-improvement and peak performance. So here's the Cliff Diver's Edge. We're going to be talking about and discussing what most don't, right? What most podcasts or YouTube channels that don't talk about. And I wouldn't be an international cliff diver if I didn't, and more so, I wouldn't be giving you all I got. I would just be giving, like Einstein says, 5% of the resources you need to propel your life and surroundings. This battery needs both a positive and a negative terminal to work, correct? Like if it just had the positive side, no juice, no energy, no gadgets, no toys, no remote control cars for the kids. How about your car for the battery that it runs off of? A boat, and bigger, like engines and things. So you get this, right? If you look at the battery from the small ones to the enormous ones and the energy it needs to fuel the toys, the remote controls, the little toys, cars, vehicles, or massive generators. Every single battery needs the positive and also the negative to fire, to charge, or to create. Your positive goals are the positive terminal, like this side. fueling your ambition, your goals, what you're inspired to do, your long-term vision. But without the negative terminal, the things you won't tolerate, the things you're sick of, what you won't stand for. Like your motivation can sputter and die without the negative. And that's what we're going to be covering for today, the positive and the negative. Now imagine walking into the aquatic center. It's lit up. It's glorious. It's clean. It's nice. The water's fresh, and all the platforms are just waiting for your skills to enjoy. But you have no positive or negative goals that will drive you through your event or your championship. You'd be lost. You'd be confused going from one board to the next. We call it foggy, right? You'd be foggy, just going through the motions on the fence. So close your eyes and see yourself setting out on a road trip. So close your eyes right now. You're going on a little road trip. Maybe you're packing your bags, you're packing the SUV, you're putting all your things together, you're getting the cooler, all that. You're putting all your delicious and your favorite snacks and drinks together. So everyone hops in, right? Your whole family hops in their vehicle, your SUV, and you pull out the driveway. But no one has a map or a destination or a vacation spot. So you may enjoy the journey of a few streets to getting over to the highway's entrance ramp. But then all of a sudden you got to put on your hazards, right? You find yourself sitting at that ramp or that exit, that highway ramp entrance for 30 minutes, 1 hour, 3 hours, just frustrated and possibly even in danger. Similarly, setting goals without knowing what you don't want, so the negative, can leave you aimlessly and unfulfilled. I thoroughly delved deep into these in my first of 7 books in the Cliff Diver's Edge, Metamorphosis from Blur to Crystal Clear, Cliff Diving Academy. In book 1, I cover all the walking your path or unearthing your David, your true ikigai, and your why. And then book 2, we take it a step further and we talk about sticky feet. And I break through the fear and the procrastination, the worry, the guilt, the inner self-image in book 2. Book 3, we go into the foggy mist. And I turn up your inner and outer heat to dive like an arrow through the unclear fog and the foggy fence state for you to take off and springboard and catapult into your love, your joy, your passion, your gifts, your smiles, your radiance, and your true worth. Take Sarah, the owner of a burnt-out entrepreneur. Sarah, a passionate entrepreneur, poured her heart and soul into her business. Long hours became the norm, sleep a distant memory, but her hustle wasn't translating into success. So frustrated, we sat down and listed negative goals. I won't work weekends anymore. All right, we're talking about negative and the negative side of these terminals, making it a working factor for you. I won't work weekends anymore. I won't miss dinner with family. I won't be constantly stressed. These negative goals force Sarah to reevaluate her work style and implement boundaries. Not only setting goals, right? She's driven, but also saying, hey, wait a second, right? I want to also make sure I never do this and I don't want this, right? And just clearly writing out those negatives. So she became healthier, she became happier, and surprisingly more productive in her business, all because of this battery and tuning into the little things like this in life, the little life lessons that we can use, that we see every day, but we don't implement them. So Steve Jobs, how did he implement the battery technique and this lightning we're talking here on the Cliff Diver's Edge? The co-founder of Apple Inc., Steve Jobs, was notorious for his high standards and over-compromising vision. Jobs often spoke about his refusal to settle for mediocrity, which a lot of entrepreneurs do, right? But he knew what he didn't want. Products that were poorly designed, they were junk, they were clunky, they didn't work, they were faulty, and they were maybe difficult to use. By focusing on avoiding those negative outcomes, Jobs was able to drive his team to create some of the most innovative and beloved products in the tech industry. So, how do you use this battery principle to create negative goals that propel you forward? Get out your goal setting notebook, your journal, and identify your positive goals. Start by clearly defining your positive visions or your 1 week goals, your three month goals, your 6 months goals. What do you want to achieve? Just write it down, right? Just keep writing. Write it down in different categories too: relationships, business, investments. So be specific. And like they say, if you be specific, they're measurable, right? So some of the examples would be I want to write and publish a novel within 1 year, and you put a date on it. My novel is published on, and you put a date on it, right? Almost like the Jim Carrey story. Now, let's use nature's laws and this battery. Close your eyes and visualize the negative consequences of not achieving your goals. How would your life be different? What would you feel? How would you be frustrated or disappointed about? Go ahead, pause the video and just take your time in your journal and your notebook and just write out. How would that affect you? How would life be different? What would you be more frustrated on? Now, the negatives into an I won't, never again, and I will never. Take those negative feelings and turn them into actionable statements that start with I won't, never again will I, and these are battery or lightning negative goals. I was working with Mitchell, the procrastinating writer, and then he had such a sense of tapping into characters and creating personalities and designing family stories and movies around them. It's just brilliant what the mind can create. But his goals and his dreams and his to-do list became a graveyard of, I'd say, good intentions, right? So he'd show me they were on his desk, they were on his computer, in his kitchen. So all the things he was driven for, right? We have this positive side. I want this, I want this. I mean, in 6 months, I'm going to have this. In 6 months, I'm going to have this. So we started designing and creating a list of the flip side and the negative goals. And I told him to get batteries and put them on his lists, just to have as anchors or triggers or visuals, right? And the funny thing, because he got one of those lantern batteries, the heavy black ones, I guess you get at the hardware store, that I think the 6 volt or something. So it triggered him to not always shoot for the moon, but to write in detail what he wouldn't stand for, what we are covering earlier, like the frustrations. I refuse to do this, this, this. I will never, right? And you put a date on it. So we started designing when and where he will write and create, and put it on his own terms and on his schedule. Some of Mitchell's I'd like to share with you is I won't spend more than 11 minutes scrolling social media before starting my writing sessions. So he had a habit of 30 minutes turned into an hour. That hour turned into an hour and a half, but he still didn't write or typewrite or start designing his characters or his scripts or his screenplays. Another one was never again will I work with people that don't like my style and writing. Oftentimes, Mitchell would create these great stories and characters, and I don't know what they were called, screenplays or sitcoms. But then the producers, the directors and stuff would say, we're taking this out. We don't like this. So one of his things was saying the frustration. We were saying trying to get in deep on those emotions. Never again will I work with a producer that edits and cuts my characters. I won't go to bed without writing, blank. These negative goals became a daily accountability checklist, helping him springboard and leaping through the procrastination and finally fulfill his own ikigai, his passion and his purpose, radiating his own inner David. I love the one about right before bed, because when we started doing that, he started waking up in the morning a lot more fresher and a lot more less the procrastinating, right? So he'd wake up and get his coffee. Then he goes over here. Then he checks the news, checks Yahoo for the news. Then he comes over here. Oh, then right now you're sort of bombarded with, okay, we got these social media posts. Made him more refreshed in the morning for that creativity and the whole aspect of like writing. Pretty amazing. Some of other examples of ones of negative goals might be like, I won't allow myself to get discouraged by like blank. You could put like rejection by somebody like making fun of me, someone saying you'll never be able to do that, things like that. Or here's a good one: never again will I let fear or failure hold me back from blank. Or yeah, we could even take that and say, never again will I let blank, because we're saying fear. Will I let this worry, this contemplation, or failure? Maybe you failed at something. So never again will I let. So instead of the fear and failure, write in some of the details that really hit home deep with you emotionally. That says, "Dang, I'll never, I'll never go through that hurt again." See how we use the negative battery terminal and use it to jumpstart our vehicle, our SUV, our boat, our big, huge generator? Much different than every morning waking up saying, I'm making X amount of dollars. I'm living in my dream house. I now have this and that and the other. Here are some additional cliff diving tips to supercharge your negative goal setting battery capabilities. The more specific, the more powerful. So if you're writing specifics and you're saying this is a battery, this is a double A, right? You're saying I got a triple A, I got a D, I got a what was that? Guys, a 6 volt. Be specific. The more specific, the more powerful. Instead of I won't waste time, aim for I won't spend more than 12 minutes, 20 minutes, mindlessly scrolling or responding to like texts or Facebook posts or social media things. Take the opposite of your goals and think the very, very worst and what it does for you, what it does for your wife, your kids, your husband, your significant other, what it does for your like career, your finances, your investment state, right? So feel the pain and get really in there for flipping this from the positive to the negative, right? Go really, really deep emotionally. What you won't stand for, like, feeling, like you're a slave or caged as far as your work and the amount of work and stress that you gotta produce in every week, 40 hours, 50 hours, 60, 70 hours. So things you won't stand for. Take a moment, just sort of pause the video right here and take your time. I suggest just taking your time. I won't tolerate this. I'll never do this again. Writing out your goals and then flipping it over. I refuse to do this. I will never have this and this and this, ever again. Put dates on it, right? Timestamp a date on it. Very, very specific. Years ago, I was diving, and every week, and I'd go into an aquatic center. It was lonely. It was not supportive. The coach didn't really work with me on like progressing, so his focus was like on the college divers. So I wrote out, I'll never again will I. Honor before, I will never settle for, I won't leave dive practice feeling, blah, 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 blah. Pow, zap. A month or two later, different center, upbeat, atmosphere, high fives, low fives, smiles, support. Not one, but 3 coaches fixing and adjusting like your progress for different divers and myself. You feel really, really like appreciated. Battery, power, all right here to harness. Next thing we want to cover is just making sure they're measurable. Track your progress. Everyone says from the big goal setters, whether it was Jim Rohn or Tony Robbins or Maxwell Maltz was always about like track your progress, put dates on things. Zig Ziglar, right? Tracking your dates, making sure it's progressible. You can look back at it in 3 months and say, oops, man, I got this one, I got this one, I got this one, and yeah, okay, rewrite this one. I still haven't accomplished this one. Rewrite this one. Put a date stamp on everything that helps you stay motivated and adjust your approach as needed. As we often talk about the plane, right, taking off. It takes off from New York to Los Angeles, but it's going to be swerving. But, right, it takes off and it's going to go to that endpoint in 3 or 4 hours. But, right, we're not going straight. A battery powers devices by having both a positive and negative terminal. Like without both ends, the battery wouldn't work. Just like Mitchell's big square lantern battery he got at Ace or True Value. Similarly, in goal setting, recognizing both what you want to achieve and what you want to avoid and create a powerful drive towards success, as we will discuss lightning in just a bit on this podcast. Are you sad right now and have that firing, burning desire to become passionately happy? Are you looking to tear down the overgrown weeds that have plagued your life to discover your truest path and purpose so you can joyously dive in to your own glowing passion within 30 days? Well, hello, I'm Edison, and inside my metamorphosis from blurred to crystal clear Cliff Divers Edge Academy, I designed a place for you to find your passion and purpose within 30 days. It's for the people looking to take one step, just that small little step towards having a reason, finding and doing what you love, waking up with a zest and a radiance and a purpose and a reason and radiating the world with your light. And how cool is this? To ultimately give back, shine, and level up the family and friends around you. Inside the Academy answers the questions that men, women, husbands, fathers, wives, mothers, and all single people have about fears, worry, depression, no purpose, hating your job, in a rut, and so much, much more. Each section and module is filled with practical strategies you can use right away in your day to celebrate you and see it dramatically increase your own health, love, strength, and joyous radiance within 30 days. You are worth the work. To check out the program down below. Positive goals are the things that inspires you to achieve, right? To push you to say, wow, I'm going to do that. And then next 3 months, you're driven to that. They're your dreams, your visions of the future, the design of your family, your outcomes. So writing out your positive goals involves like being specific about what you want. Instead of saying, I want to be successful, specify, I want to be the details, right? CEO of a tech company by the age of, right now we're even putting an age on it. And by the date of, so you put August of whatever year it is. Measurability, right? Almost like measurability of a battery, right? This is a double A, we got a double, we got a C, we got a D, we got, right? Measurability ensures your goals are measurables and trackable. For example, like I want to increase my savings by $10,000 by the end of the year or by the end of November on blank year, right? So that's sort of specific, right? The next thing we're going to be covering is achievability. We don't want to go too far, trying to get to the Boston Marathon, but we never did a race ever before, in your life. Right? We want to be achievable. So set realistic goals that are within your reach, or we say just a little bit outside of your comfort zone, right? Even in diving, we do some dives. We make sure we do a dive from a 1 meter. Then we go to the 3 meter. We do that 3 meter for like the next 3 months before we go to 5 meter to 7 meter to the 10 meter and even higher, right? So we set measurable goals, right? And one thing I loved about cliff diving, there's always different things, right? If I'm doing a dive on a 3 meter and then, right, the next one's the 5. So the next one's not the 10, right? It's not 3 times as higher. It's the 5. It's just, 6 or 7 feet higher than what you're normally doing. So, like if you want to run a small, like 5 mile marathon within the next 6 months, that's like achievable rather than saying, I'm going to run the Boston Marathon next month or whenever the Boston Marathon is in August, right? But you've never, or you're brand new to running. Align your goals with your values and long-term objectives. If family is important to you, if children, parents, grandparents are most important to you, write out family goals. Write out specifics about how you're spending the weekends together, how you're going on vacations together, and things like that. Set time boundaries for work. Set deadline goals. This creates a sense of urgency and keeps you focused, especially for family. Right now, you're putting family first. So some of the examples would be like, I want to publish my first book by like December and the date. Now, writing out negative goals, and these like battery lightning goals are even more important as they define what you don't want to happen. They can help you steer clear of pitfalls and stay true to your path. Writing out your negative goals. Right? A lot of people say get emotionally involved. We don't emotionally evolve and know our why. I'm going to be doing this, because 3 years ago I was in the hospital, because, my parents weren't, they had this and suffered on this. I'm going to fight through, right? So making sure that you have a clear, set of goals. Identifying or recognizing the behaviors and situations you want to avoid, like my diving practices, right? So what I wanted to avoid. And then, boom, 1 or 2 months later, new center, 3 coaches, not one, high fives, people celebrating. It's like, great. What's on the other side of, right, of life is always amazing, right? The flip side, we're doing our negatives, and now we positives, and then we flip and focus and start writing all of our negatives. Another example is, I don't want to work in a job that makes me feel like unhappy, or on or before date I got rid of, or on or before this date, never again will I blank, in my life. Never again will I feel so like depressed and happy and ucky, right? Just use different words that, get different emotional triggers. Ucky. Get in there and set boundaries. Most often than not, my clients don't know how to communicate their boundaries to their husbands, their wives, to their significant others. Like, there's fear, there's worry. Will this cause our relationship to go in like different directions? So establishing limits and just getting comfortable writing them out and expressing them. Some of the examples would be, I won't allow myself to work more than 30 hours a week, 40 hours a week, whatever it is. Putting these little alarm clocks. I know some of my clients, we do alarm clocks. 1 hour, I'm focused on this. Alarm clock goes off, we might refresh. I might have to finish up certain things, but next hour, new alarm clock. Never again will it be Saturday or Sunday and I don't take a walk or hit the gym with my boyfriend or girlfriend. Tap into your ikigai. I refuse to let take over and not play the piano, cook, knit, graphic design for 35 minutes or an hour before I go to work, or the night before, like before I go to bed. That catapults you in new directions and new flows in your life. The power of this battery. When setting goals, consider both what you want to achieve and what you want to avoid, the positive and the negative. This dual approach can provide a balanced and comprehensive roadmap for success. As we were discussing earlier, with a family that goes on a road trip, packs up the SUV, pulls out the driveway, and then turns on its hazards right by the highway entrance ramp because no one has a map or a destination. Now it's time to fuel the fire and to really light it up here for today's podcast and video. Now for my Cliff Diver's Edge gimmick. If you only had a positive terminal and no negative, then no battery, right? And there's no circuit, there's no current. And that's where we're going to be applying. I'm going to apply my battery to your affirmations and your visualizations. Done 7 different ways. I'm here showing you 2 of them. So, number 1, if you have a list of 10 affirmations, visualizations, and goals, after the 4th and the 6th affirmation, write out 1 negative to create a flow of current you will detract from and avoid. So you're going in the opposite direction of. I want nothing to do with. I will never again have to. So once again, write out your goals after number 4 and then after number 6 in your list of 10. Right? That was number 1. I have no use for. I will no longer settle for. So you get it, right? If you got this. See, if not, go out and find a battery. It works for me and my clients. Get one, use it as a trigger, an anchor, a little visual cue to say, not only am I be driven, but I'm also going to be, focused on the things that I don't want anymore in my life, the junk, the negativities, right? So those type of things will naturally start to dissipate in your life. Now on to number 2, or the gimmick number 2 for the Cliff Diver's Edge. After you say your 10 affirmations and your visualizations or your goals, here's the trick. Write out 10 negative affirmations to equally charge the opposite side of this, okay? It's almost like the battery. So the reason I gave you number 1 is because it's simple, right? You write out your goals, and this is new. You're thinking like, but you're just taking 4 and 6, right? Write out your goals, but just 2 of your 10 goals, you're just writing out the negatives. I'll never have, I will never again will I. This one is almost like a battery, right? When you see this battery, it's the same size, right? The same size on the top and the bottom, right? It doesn't taper, right? It doesn't, even like my client's big cell, 6 volt, right? It's a square. It's the same size. So what we're doing is the first 10, our goals are positive, right? We write them out. But then you take the same time, the same energy, more emotional energy, and you write out the 10 negative things. Write them out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, positive. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, negative. So why this works? Lightning. Why don't we just listen to nature? The most common type of lightning, cloud to ground lightning, is most likely to happen when a negative charge builds up in the cloud base. Inside a thunderstorm, strong winds and collisions between ice particles cause electrical charge separations. Lighter ice particles carry positive charges to the top of the cloud, while the heavier ones carry the negative charges to the bottom. The Earth's surface is relatively a good conductor compared to air. As a result, when a large negative charge accumulates at the cloud's base, it induces a positive charge on the ground directly below it. This is because the negative charge in the cloud repels electrons in the ground, pushing them away, right? We're going to be pushing the things that we don't want in our lives away and creating a relative positive area. Opposites attract. The strong negative charge in the cloud and the induced positive charge on the ground create a powerful electrostatic attraction. This builds tension until the air can no longer hold back the electrical field. Then, a channel of ionized air called a downward leader, a lightning bolt, right? A downward leader starts from the cloud base and stretches toward the ground in a series of stepped discharges. As you can see, sort of the lightning does like a squiggly line, like the downward leader, the lightning bolt. So it has these series of stepward discharges. Now, the upward streamer, when the downward leader gets close enough to the ground or like a tall structure, a weaker positively charged upward streamer shoots up from the ground to meet it. It's called the return stroke. Now, once the downward leader or the lightning bolt and the upward streamer connect, on this surge, the return stroker travels back to the channel carrying the large negative charge and creating the visible flash of lightning. And that's why, as you hear this like big crack, right? And that's why this works. I had to watch a few YouTube videos on lightning and seeing the amazing camera angles on the ground when that lightning would be like zap, and how like a bolt of lightning shoots up from the earth. And have you ever seen this? It's fascinating. I always thought like I know years and years ago I seen or heard like the lightning like shoots up from the ground or wherever the positive is. That's interesting. We're watching these YouTube videos just the other day. It's like that's amazing how the lightning bolt but the earth, right, shoots up to meet it. The positive streamer shoots up from the ground to meet the 10, the 20, or the 50 negative goals you emotionally wrote out. Like, yes, amazing. How hot and heated and emotionally and painful can your negative ones get? And finding the way to not just write them, but to get angry and frustrated and pissed off that you won't like tolerate like this anymore, or allowing that lightning bolt to strike for you. Oh, the sweet feeling of receiving and accomplishing and attracting one's old goals through, right, the focus of goal setting and this whole zap and crack and kaboom. It's like you're pushing and pushing and fighting, and then like a flash of lightning, achieved victory, like it's like a miracle. Perhaps it was your like dream house, like your dream car, a dream lover, your job, money, friends, a vacation. Being a cliff diver is awesome. When we receive that like crack and the kaboom and the zap. First time I successfully did a double off the 7-meter was weeks and months of trying and like pushing and like spilling and whacking the water, and then you come up and you're hurting or you're fearful to do the next one, and you're just like building and you're like trying to do this double off the 7. You're trying to go up, do it again, go up, do it again, and then zap, achieved. And oh, the love of the lightning and the lasting effects, huh? So there's so many lasting effects once we achieve a goal, right? It's so mesmerizing in this world. I got to enjoy that double for years. I could do it off of any platform. I could take it off to the 10 meter, and I could do it off the 3 meter. So you live with it forever, just like that perfect lover, your dream house, your dream vacation. It took you 3 years of push and struggle and getting off of work and doing this, and this, and waking up early to 1 or 2 hours early before work and doing this, and then boom, battery, lightning, pop-boom, crack, lightning, zap, struggles, push, and then right, achieved, yours forever. That's the miracles of goal accomplishment. After only a few sessions, my clients, his daughter, the softball daughter, received her lightning, or should I say, lightning in a bottle. And we rewrote her goals, all in the negative. She recited them. She recorded them. She could play the audio on her commute and at the gym. As far as the negatives, right, the zaps, the kabams, what she no longer would stand for, and then zap, kablam, ka-whack, lightning received. Bat hits ball, single. Bat hits ball, double. Bat hits ball, home run. And for the rest of her life to enjoy. And what's even better, seeing her dad smile, the amazement in her seeing her daughter's self-confidence shoot way up. And it's so special and personal for him and his entire family. But this is the power of nature. And if we just listen and apply the laws of the positive and negative, top and bottoms of the battery and the lightning bolts, Yeah, I worked with Monica. She was a travel blogger. She loved to travel, but packing and planning turned every trip into like a stressful ordeal. Like often missing like Uber rides and flights because of it. So her negative goals: I will never pack more than one suitcase and one carry-on. Never again will I wait hours at the terminal waiting for my luggage off the plane, or my luggage is in another city or country, and you're waiting. I won't spend hours at the airport searching for lost luggage. I won't miss out on sightseeings because of insufficient planning. My subscribers and my writing are more important than the dresses and the sandals I pack. Like these negatives and the goals pushed her to develop a streamlined packing system and a little bit more detail of her research and destinations thoroughly. Now she travels with more confidence. She enjoys relaxing when she's early for her flights and loves the feeling just walking off the plane, never waiting for luggage, and never having to go down to baggage and wait, 30 minutes or an hour. Now she gets to enjoy, and we were talking the zap, the kaboom, the lightning. She gets to enjoy, just going swiffing off her plane and hailing her taxi to her hotel. For years, we've all fell prey to writing out your positive goals, being optimistic and being hopeful, etc., etc., etc. This, in an essence, is sending 100% positive charge in the subconscious planes of creation, right? It's just negative, right? We're goal setting, goal setting, goal setting. So you're producing and creating and manifesting like zero negative reaction to create a reaction spark. Like we were saying, from the earth, it has to like shoot back up to meet that lightning bolt. All right, so you're not creating anything that creates that reaction to the upward streamer, right? Now that I have you connecting these, your battery, your terminal, forming your creation circuit, your flowing and energizing lightning downward leader, and your upward streamer, number two is just to simply removing your attention to the outcomes and being detached. There's a lot of laws and lessons about detaching, setting goals, doing all this, doing all the negatives, getting that pain going. I'll never do this. I refuse to do this. And then letting it go, right? Taking 1 or 2 days off a week, right? Work for it, and whatever outcome comes in, right? We're detached from that, so we enjoy it. So we're allowing the higher self, the divine mind, per se, to bring everything together in perfect timing. Number three, you may have heard this from all the spiritual gurus, and they seem to have the same parable over the many thousands of years, right? A poor man goes up to the guru and asks for wealth, abundance, money, prosperity. And the guru responds, pray steadfast for 7 days. And when focusing on your wealth and your riches, however, never think of worthless wooden coins. No matter what, don't think of useless wooden coins. Now go on and come back in 7 days. The student comes back to the guru 7 days later with bags and bags full of worthless wooden coins. Sacks so heavy, he had them on a wagon. The shocking truth about goals, the battery and lightning approach. Setting and achieving goals is a fundamental part of personal and professional growth. By recognizing both positive and negative life lessons of this battery and lightning, and the power of the lightning, you can create powerful drive towards success. Achieving the battery and the lightning zaps and the kabooms and the cracks through your goal setting and various techniques can further enhance your productivity and your satisfaction. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a writer, an athlete, a student, you enjoy fishing, sewing, you're a musician, understanding and leveraging the power of a simple, unlooked upon battery and the profound zapping effect of how lightning happens in materializing your goals can help you achieve your dreams and live happier, joyously, and vibrantly. One of the most unwavering paths to finding your ikigai, your purpose, your significance, is to master the art of carving out your own beauty, shining through the imperfections. This journey is a testament to your determination to shape your destiny, and it's a pursuit that leads you to the profound wellspring of passion and purpose in your life. I've taught hundreds of individuals and organizations how to zero in on their truest, most passionate meaning in life, going from a once cloudy and a murky hurricane of confusion to horse racing, blinders on, full tilt, zing, adore, zeal, ear to ear, smiling in and throughout life. So if you'd like to find out more, click down below. Leave a comment below. Write in how you wrote out your negatives, how you changed those goal setting sheets and notebooks and journals, and how you got emotionally involved in there. Write it down in the comments and your statements down below. We'd love to hear from them. Everyone learns from them what moved, what worked, what didn't work, what made a difference from you. So I love hearing from each and every one of you, your comments, your love, each other's support and growth. If you found this video helpful and useful in any way, share your thoughts, experiences, and your results down below. I love the impact this community has on uplifting the world, and we'll see you in the next Cliff Diver's Edge.